It's on the 1-yard line. Third down and goal to go. Penalty flags are down. The Giants have put it in the end zone. Let's wait for the officials and the penalty.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below or maybe even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But anyways, thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, we got, for the New York Giants, 2 days in the books for the mandatory minicamp. Today's Thursday's the last day. We'll wrap it up, and then I think they're off, I believe, in Brian Daboll's little press conference there afterwards. I think it was July 26th. Everybody's off till. So, you know, they got quite a bit of time on their hands after about a month and a half. Then everybody comes back and they get, you know, it's time. Training camp, preseason games, regular season. We'll be in Tennessee before you know it, guys. Simply amazing. But we found out some interesting things, you know, a couple things from a couple articles I was looking at about what happened maybe the first day and what after the second day. But I'll tell you what, after the first day, Wink Martindale and the defense really got the edge on the offense. All right, the New York Giants got the. This is some of the observations I saw from in this article from the first day. All right, their observations. Wink Martindale and the defense wins the day. Daniel Jones and the offense struggles, and they got some about Tyrod Taylor. So let's see. So obviously, you know. This here says there's only 2 more practices. Well, actually, there's only 1 more practice left. They got practice today on Thursday, and that ends the 3-day minicamp. Right, Tuesday the Giants kicked off the first of 3-day minicamps in the Brian Daboll era. It was a 2.5-hour practice. That's a long one. With most of the 11-11 drills being taking place in the latter half of the practice, everyone was in attendance. It is mandatory, after all, but many players remain out or are limited due to injuries. But it's nice to, you know, you don't have some sour apples. So and so ain't showing up, or so and this or that. You know, so everybody was there. That's nice to hear. At least that's a nice start. All right. Then here are some immediate observations from Tuesday's practice. Defensive domination. I mean, you know, that's what you think about with Giant football. Defense. This might be a recurring theme this week, but the defense quite clearly had the better day in the 11-11 drills. There are a few factors that go into that. Wink Martindale's blitz-heavy scheme, completely new offensive line group, yeah, and a banged-up wide receiving core. Yeah, I mean, you figure our top 3 wide receivers weren't there. I mean, if you look at it, okay, our top 3 receivers from last year, I mean, if you want to, you know, Shepard, Kadarius Toney, and Golladay. And then you got and our tight end, Evan Ingram. Right? They're all, you know, I mean, they're all gone. I mean, well, not gone, but Evan Ingram's gone. The other 3 weren't on the field. So, I mean, so basically Daniel Jones, who's got the, you know, a new offensive line kind of set up. Left tackle wasn't there, you know, and he's basically throwing to second string wide receivers. So, right. The offense struggled to get things going all afternoon. If sacks or quarterback hits were allowed during practice, Daniel Jones would have been on the ground a lot. Wink came out with some Wink stuff today, Senator John Feliciano said after practice. That's good. That's good. That's really, really good. It is far too early to panic. Even if this keeps happening deep into training camp, then it'll be time to worry. Last year, it became clear during training camp that the offense was going to struggle. And yes, it did last year. The hope is that the Giants facing Martindale's aggressive scheme every day in practice should help them when they start facing off against opponents. Yes, it should. Absolutely. Absolutely. Martindale is drawing different looks at the offense just about every play. Blitzing, he's having edge rushers drop into coverage, going with extra defensive back. It's a lot for a new-look offense to handle. That's cool. I love it, man. That's great. At one point late in practice, safety Dane Belton was sent in as a blitzer 2 plays in a row. All right. I like that. And both would have resulted in a sack in a game setting. Gotta love it, baby. Gotta love it. Jones would have been sacked on back-to-back plays during red zone drills later on, too. One was credited as a touchdown pass to David Sills, but probably shouldn't have been there. Probably shouldn't have been. Just something to keep an eye on as the week progresses. So. Well, I'll say you got Daniel Jones and Tyrod. All right, as mentioned, it wasn't a great day for the offense. And Jones wasn't especially accurate, though, again. He's playing without Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, and Sterling Shepard. Right. The first team wide receivers, David Sills, Richie James, and C.J. Board. I mean, capable wide receivers, but that's, chances are I don't even know if Tom Brady was the quarterback or Aaron Rodgers. I don't even know if, any team's going to the Super Bowl with those 3 as your starting wide receivers. Okay? Darius Slayton seems to be fully relegated to backup duty at the moment. Wow, they had those 3 guys in there, and Darius Slayton couldn't even beat those guys. Wow, that's not saying much there. Though he, along with others like Wan'Dale Robinson and Travis Toivonen, often rotate in with the first-team offense. Okay. Unofficially, I had Jones completing 13 of 21 passes without any turnovers. All right, that's promising. Though he came close to an interception on a pass breakup from cornerback Aaron Robinson. He was pressured pretty consistently, though that's something he's well familiar with his first 3 NFL seasons. Oh, yeah, behind the New York Giants offensive line, first 3 seasons. Oh, yeah. But he had a handful of throws at the ground in front of his target, behind them or too high over their heads. So. All right, James had the most catches. 6 on 7 targets. All right, very good. Of any receiver on Tuesday, taking advantage of the reps he's getting with all the injuries. Saquon Barkley continues to flash as a receiver, too, catching a few passes, including 1 touchdown during a 2-minute drill. All right. Tyrod Taylor had a better day with the backups, albeit with fewer reps and against a second-team defense. He completed 8 out of 13, including a couple Patrick Mahomes-esque sidearm throws. There you go. Yeah, I love Tyrod Taylor. Man, that's such a good pickup. Sidearm throws to the middle of the field to hit Bachman. He also had a beautiful deep ball that would have been a 60-yard touchdown where only Slayton could catch it, but Slayton couldn't hold it in. Like what happened last year against the Washington football team. Had the ball right at his fingertips, and he dropped it, and he was wide open in the end zone. Oh, God. It's plainly obviously right away that Taylor is a significant upgrade of Mike Lennon and Colt McCoy. Yeah, as a backup, which isn't really saying much. He still has impressive mobility for 11th-year veteran, too, scrambling for a big gain at one point. So that's good. That's really, really good. That was a great pickup. All right, and we got the Giants list players wearing red jerseys, indicating limited or non-participation was lengthy again. But many participated more than they had in recent practices in front of the media. This list included outside linebacker Kayvon Thibodeau, wide receiver Kadarius Toney, wide receiver Kenny Golladay, wide receiver Sterling Shepard, cornerback Aaron Robinson, cornerback Darnay Holmes, cornerback Rodarius Williams, left tackle Andrew Thomas, linebacker Blake Martinez, among others. Toney was spotted at the start of the practice catching passes from a jugs machine, but didn't participate otherwise. Golladay was a participant in some individual drills at the start of practice, but sat out team drills again. Thibodeau was working alone with a trainer on an opposite field during 11-on-11 drills, working on his agility and swim move. He seems unlikely to take part in the team's drills as a precaution this week, but should be good for training camp. Thank goodness. Robinson was limited, but got some reps during team drills, getting a pass breakup on Jones, as mentioned. Thomas also participated in some drills early in practice, but he's still clearly limited by his offseason ankle surgery. Yeah, you let Mr. Andrew Thomas, you take your time, brother. Take whatever time you need, pal. Oh, man, you don't want to be messing with that guy. The hope is that he's closer to a full go by training camp. That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And I hope the surgery, cleaned out his ankle, and hopefully he's done with his foot and ankle injuries. Hopefully. Starting units on offense and defense. Our usual check-in for who's running with the onesies. The offensive line was the same as it's been lately, with Thomas sitting out of team drills. So you got left tackle Joshua Zudu, all right, filling in for Andrew Thomas. Shane Lemieux was the left guard. Feliciano was the center. Glowinski was the right guard, and Evan Neal was the right tackle. The second unit, Devery Hamilton, left tackle. So you got Ben Bredesen was the left guard, which he was playing last year too. And he missed some time. He injured his hand, so he missed some time last year, but he was also the left guard as well. Jamil Douglas, Marcus McKeithen, and Matt Gano. All right, and then you got the third unit. Now you got Bredesen is the center. Right, so we got Roy Emba Etika. So that's nice to see he's out there. I mean, not that he's he's still got a ways to go, but Emba Etika, that's 6'9" from Africa, supposed to be a whale of an athlete. I hope. Boy, I'll tell you what. I hope. I don't know, man. I don't think I put him in a guard. I mean, just say the guy starts just saying he takes off, and after a year, he's supposed to be a phenomenal. OC said he was a great athlete. I mean, what are you going to put? I mean, if he's a tackle, you're going to have this phenomenal athlete. I'm just saying, if he does, was he going to be a backup tackle? I mean, he's not taking the place of Thomas or Neal. I mean, if he does, he's an unbelievable. But I mean, maybe they could put him in a guard. Maybe who knows? But we got third unit, Josh Rivas, I believe. And Ben Bredesen's the center. Max Garcia, and Corey Cunningham is the right tackle. So we got some depth. I'm not going to say outstanding, unbelievable depth, but we got some depth. And we got guys that can multiple positions, as you see with Bredesen. So that's good. Zudu, Bredesen, Douglas, and Garcia are all guys that have moved around a bunch during OTAs and minicamp. So that's good. Really, really good. I think now is a good time to spring to give as many guys different roles as they can to do out there. And you can figure out maybe this is something that we missed on that he can do. Dable said before practice, it's a good time to do it now. Absolutely. Get the guys out there. Oh, yeah. All right, so we got now the defense. Martinel's rotated quite a bit at the same spots he's been lately. Cornerback, safety, outside linebacker. Defensive line as usual. Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, Xavier McKinney, Julian Love, Azeez Ojulari, and Adoree Jackson were unquestioned starters. Absolutely. Jihad Ward and Ellerson Smith, often accompanied with Ojulari, got many of the reps at edge rusher. That's cool. I like that. I like to see maybe, I love to see what Ellerson Smith can do. On multiple occasions, Smith was lined up on the inside and even dropped back into coverage on a couple of times. All right, that's interesting. Michael Jaquette remained the primary corner opposite Jackson, with Robinson still banged up, and Belton got a bunch of reps as a third safety, flashing as a blitzer. David Moa or Justin Ellis got most of the reps when there's a third defensive lineman. Okay, that's cool. And you got a little miscellaneous here. All right, the Giants, they've had a few tryouts on Tuesday's practice, including wide receivers Kaleem Doss and Isaiah Ford. Doss played for the Raiders in 2019 and 20, spent last year on the Jets and Falcons practice squad. Ford spent the last 4 years with the Dolphins, where he accumulated 63 catches, 681 yards, and 2 touchdowns in 32 games. So nothing super spectacular. This shouldn't come as a surprise, but Dable confirmed on Tuesday that Daniel Jones was already cleared for contact from last season's next injury, and they should be able to play in a game right now if there was one. So that's good. That's That's really, really good. And we got undrafted rookie corner Zion Gilbert had a pass breakup on a Taylor pass during team drills. Rookie Cordell Flott was also in coverage on multiple Jones incompletions. Backup running back Matt Breida caught a few passes from Taylor and a pre-snap motion getting him to the outside. Rookie tight end Daniel Bellinger lined up as an outside receiver on a couple plays. That's cool. With the first team offense, though he wasn't targeted. So that's good. I like that. I mean, try guys all. Now's the time to do it. Absolutely. Now is the time to do it. So this is the takeaways they got from yesterday's, the second day. Takeaways from Giants mandatory minicamp. What we learned after 2 days of the Giants mandatory minicamp. All right, this is from, what we got here? This is from Fan Nation. All right, let's see here. The Giants went through a much lighter 2-hour workout Wednesday for day 2 of their mandatory minicamp, a light workout that the players weren't even wearing their helmets toward the end. That's light. Head coach Brian Daboll, who speaks to the press before practices, wasn't available after Wednesday's session to comment on why he backed off from what he's consistently characterized as spring as a teaching camp. But it's probably safe to say that he was pleased with the progress made by the coaches and the players in grasping the fundamentals, building up the camaraderie and culture, and gaining a good enough understanding on the offense and the defensive schemes to where they were eventually convened for training camp. They can hit the ground running. That's good. So what we're able to glean from the mandatory minicamp, which is scheduled to conclude Thursday with the 45-minute practice. Wow. That's some quick practices. All right, well, start way down here. There we go, going up. There was a question or two about where players were lining up and why, largely driven by what was being shown, contradicting what was expected. For example, tight end Ricky Seals-Jones, who was expected to be part of the starting lineup, took some snaps with the third-string offense, which brought on the questions. But the thing is like, you want, I mean, it's helpful if you got them, put them on, first string, second string, third string. Because if worse comes to worse and you got Ricky Seals, it's a long season. If you got Ricky Seals-Jones in there and just for some reason you got Tyrod Taylor as the quarterback, you want to have him where he ran some patterns, was in the huddle, listened to the cadence and stuff like that of Tyrod Taylor. So so if you have Ricky Seals-Jones with the first, the second, and then maybe have him in there with Davis Webb. So what Davis called in the cadence, how he calls the plays. Yeah, Davis Webb is familiar with maybe kind of how he runs his routes and stuff like that. So it's so beneficial to have all these guys, absolutely different positions, different, the third string, second string, first string, absolutely. And as I said, now is the time to do that. Just get them going all over the place, absolutely. Earlier this spring, Daboll spoke of having a rep chart rather than a depth chart. Reiterated not to read anything into the lineups. That's good. We've used different personnel packages, Daboll said regarding Seals-Jones. That goes with all the guys. You'll see different receivers go with Daniel Jones one day. This isn't, like I said, an evaluation type of camp. It's more of a teaching, learning camp and moving guys around and putting them with different players. Remember, the Giants have been missing several players due to medical issues, which has opened up opportunities for other players to inch closer to the brass ring. So, for example, receivers like Travis Toivonen, not Tweak. Let me see. Hold on. I don't know where the hell he got. I mean, I'm going to say if the V and the K were right next to each other and he wanted to hit the V and he actually hit the V is, there's like three or four letters apart. So I don't know where the hell he's getting this from. Toivonen. Never heard that one before. Travis Toivonen. David Sills, Alex Bachman, and Richie James all saw a higher number of reps than they probably otherwise have seen. It's also been an opportunity for younger players like rookie Josh Ezeudu, one of the team's third-round draft picks, and a player who projects as a guard to take advantage of the snaps and tackle. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Where he worked with the starters in place of Andrew Thomas. But also, Ezeudu played tackle in college. He played guard and tackle in the same drive in college. So, that might really wind up being a real good pick for the Giants. To gain position flexibility, Dable and the coaches have been big cross-trained guys at different positions. They have also done a good job of getting a look at some players who right now are long shots to make the roster rather than devoting precious training camp reps, which is true, to those players later on when they need to be getting the team ready for the season. The depth chart will eventually come, but for now, any reports of lineups just aren't worth the paper that they're written on. Yeah, I mean, that's Joe. Like I said, yeah. To get guys in there, especially on the offense, because the quarterback, how they call the plays, their cadence, and everything. And I said, with the quarterbacks getting familiar with how the guys run their routes and everything, that's huge, absolutely huge. All right, what do we got here? Much was made about how the Giants' defense had dominated the offense on the first day. But before we go wringing our hands and worried that it's going to be the same old, with the offensive line, let's put everything into perspective. These were paddless practices with zero contact. I mean, how are you supposed to stop a blitzing, right? I mean, if you're not allowed to touch the guy, kind of touch the guy, you're not allowed to block. I mean, you can't grab a hold of him. I mean, come on, For an offensive lineman to truly shut out a defender from penetrating, there has to be a certain degree of contact and physicality. Absolutely, so otherwise it becomes a game of patty cake that the forward-moving player defense is almost always going to win. So, yeah. This is another reason why Dable didn't get too worked up over who won the battles. Instead, he chose to focus on the progress made in the technique and the player's grasp of the different concepts. During training camp, the real test will come when the pads go on and the pit players can mix it up. Oh, yeah. That's because I remember I don't remember, it was the first practice that they had. It was early on, and they had that big battle when Daniel Jones wound up underneath the pile and everything. That was like the first or second, I think, of training camp. That was early on. Tempers were flaring there. Big battle. Oh yeah. During training camp, the real test will come when the pads go on and the pit players can mix it up. Same with the receivers and the defensive backs who will be able to jam and play press. Absolutely, so a lot of this stuff, try not to look too much, into it. Now we got a strong push on the fundamentals. All right. There were a lot of new drills and instructional sessions in this camp that I don't recall seeing before. For example, the defensive front was split into smaller units assigned to execute different types of a pass rush move. Very, very interesting. I like that. The quarterbacks had to navigate through a defender, a staffer with a padded cone who came at the quarterback, waving the cone and trying to hit the quarterback and still trying to hit his mark. Very good. And the defensive backs spent a lot of time trying to break up passes with their backs turned to the passer and without making contact with the receiver. That's a tough skill to develop. Let me tell you what. These are just some of the fundamentals that Dable hopes will carry over into training camp, as the plan seems to have the team hit the ground running. Absolutely. That's good. Then we got here. Oh, my job is to get him right, and all our jobs, basically, he's dialed in. He's ready. I just don't want him to be learning while he's playing. I just want him to go. That's veteran defender Jihad Ward was talking about rookie Kayvon Thibodeau. We got some other takeaways here. And what we got here? This is, boom. Graham Gano kicked a 53-yard field goal, which saved his teammates and the coaching staff from having to run post-practice sprints. The coaches pumped in crowd noise and even tried to ice the kicker to make it more interesting. But Gano came through. I tell you what, we're lucky we got Gano. I'm not saying he's going to obviously make every field goal like he's been, almost every field goal. But, I mean, good, solid veteran. So we're good in the kicking department, the kicker department. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, the punting is better this year than it has been, especially last year. Receiver Kenny Golladay, who was limited to working on a side with a trainer, participated in some individual drills with the rest of the receivers. Golladay should be ready for the start of training camp. Good. The offense was a lot more productive Monday 2. scoring 2 touchdowns during 11-11 period. Quarterback Daniel Jones connected with Saquon Barkley on 1 score. Wan'Dale Robinson also caught a touchdown pass. Receiver Richie James is a player who's capitalized on the injuries at receiver. James came up with a nice reception on a fade throw by Tyrod Taylor. James, a return specialist, could be a surprise addition to the roster with a strong camp if he continues to cash in on his opportunities. Good. Very, very good. You like to see that. Dable mentioned July 26 in response to a question about injured players, saying guys that we've got to take a little bit off them on June 8th so they're ready to go full on July 26th. I think that'd be smart. Yeah. I mean, it's, that'd be a month and a half. So hopefully a lot of these guys, a little dinged up here, hopefully in a month and a half, hopefully they'll be ready to go. July 26th is thought to be the date the veterans report for training camp, as teams can't hit the practice field until 15 days before their first preseason game. The soonest the Giants can hit the field is July 27th. Giants rookies would be eligible to report to camp a week ahead of the vets on July 19th. So even still well over a month away. Giants have receivers Khalil Doss and Isaiah Ford and tight end Jaden Graham in on tryouts during this camp. I think it helps to get another set of legs out here and run around, but also to get a good evaluation of some guys who you want to look at, Dable said. You never know when you might want to add someone to the roster. Could be today, could be 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. You can have the ability to have some of these guys out here to take a look at them. I think it helps. Absolutely. Because, you got these guys in June. You never know. It could be October, could be November. You could have a rash of injuries on the wide receiver department, and you might have to call one of these guys in. You bring them in now. Take a look at them. At least you know what you got. But even with the rookies being able to come in on July 19th, all right, you figure that's well over a month. Now, you got some guys. I'm not sure. If they're going to want to start pushing Blake Martinez, But, you got to figure Sterling Shepard, right? Maybe Andrew Thomas might be ready to go, but Sterling Shepard, and especially Nick Gates. Guys like that, they won't be ready for training camp. But hopefully, we'll have a minimal amount of red jerseys on when training camp starts. And once training camp starts, okay, and hopefully we make it, to regular season, hopefully the red jerseys will stay at a minimum, because nothing can derail a season faster than injuries. So you see, after the first day, one of the articles was pointing out, the defense got the, as far as with bringing pressure and stuff like that. But it's kind of, there was no pads, there was no blocking. It wasn't like the Wicks sent 8 guys, and the offensive line didn't know what was going on, and everybody ran. They all tried to block them, and they couldn't block. It wasn't like that. It's kind of tough. Yeah, not like doing a walkthrough or whatever, and you're not allowed to grab a guy or block them or nothing like that. It's kind of tough to keep them at. So, but it's nice to see, right? He's got some aces up his sleeve as far as just sending pressure. That's nice to see. Can the back end hold up? That's another thing. But also in the one article they were showing some of the unofficial depth chart. They were showing what the offensive line was looking like. Maybe the first string, the second string. Ben Bredesen had him in there as a center. As far as I know, I've looked on Pro Football Focus. I didn't see him at all play center at all. Period. Anywhere. So, but they got him in there. So that's good to see. The more people, the merrier. So we got one more day left, and then they got about a month and a half off, and hopefully, one of the other things that they were talking about here, seeing a lot of red jerseys. Hopefully, right? It's going to be, obviously Nick Gates when they come back, red jersey. Sterling Shepard when they come back, red jersey. You know, so there's going to be a few guys still with the red jerseys, but hopefully, you know what I mean? I mean, if they got a month and a half off to recoup and all that and everything, hopefully, you know, we'll only have a handful of guys in red jerseys. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!